What's up, design family, and welcome back to another episode of Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you back on the channel. On today's episode, we'll be looking at how to specify the country of origin for your fashion products. As more and more fashion brands are looking overseas and are outsourcing production so that they can have access to better production methods, more cost efficiency, and better fabrics and trims, this idea of the country of origin is becoming more complicated, especially as you begin to layer on different suppliers into your supply chain. We'll go over 3 key classification techniques for the country of origin that differ depending on the specific supply chain orientation. Whether you're creating shoes, traditional garments, outerwear, this episode is going to have something for you, and the results of some of these classification scenarios is going to surprise you. It definitely surprised me when I looked into it a little bit more. So watch till the end to find out. Hey guys, and welcome to Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you here. On this channel, we discuss all things sports fashion, graphic design, manufacturing, and technology. We'll discuss key topics, answer pressing questions, and provide actionable steps on starting your own product line. If you're interested in any of the above topics, stick around. You're in for a good one. Country of origin. What does that mean? The country of origin, or the C.O.O., is essentially the country in which a specific product is considered to be manufactured in, produced in, or grown in. And the country of origin is typically defined by one of 3 different scenarios. Number 1 is the scenario in which a substantial transformation is undergone to the product. Number 2 is the scenario in which a specific change in the tariff classification of that product is undergone. And number 3 is a scenario in which the tremendous or the major additional value that has been added to the product. These 3 scenarios essentially dictate the C.O.O. of a product, and this becomes extremely helpful when we deal with products that have multiple layers of supply chain in them. For example, when you have different materials being sourced from different places and they are put together, where is the country of origin, or which of these countries is the C.O.O.? That's what we're going to go through, and we'll start off with number 1. This is the substantial transformation case scenario. The substantial transformation scenario identifies or labels the C.O.O. as the singular place a product undergoes a major transformation from its raw materials. So this is a place in which the product undergoes a major transformation and it alters the raw materials character or usage. Let's look at a specific. Let's just say you have a sportswear brand and you source your fabrics from a supplier in Taiwan, and you source your hardware and trims, your labels, and your neck tags from a supplier in Korea. You take both of these key components and you ship them to a supplier in China who cuts and sews the fabrics and assembles everything together. The C.O.O. in this place is the region or location in which the major transformation to all of the raw materials has happened. Obviously, this is going to be in China, where you're taking your raw fabrics, which are simply not usable as garments, and your raw hardware trims, which are simply not usable as garments again, and you compose them and put them together into a finished product ready to be used by the customer as a t-shirt or a jogger. So the major transformation in this case has happened in China. Therefore, the C.O.O. is to be considered as China. Number 2 is the specific scenario in which the country of origin can be referred to as the country or region in which a tariff classification change takes place. When it comes to the tariff classification, this is essentially a system of categorizing all goods across a variety of spectrum in a standardized system applied all across the world. This is typically considered or referred to as the harmonized system. The common HS code, which is commonly referred to, is drawn from that system, hence the name. In this case, the changing in tariff classification allows you to refer to that country in which that tariff classification change is taking place as the C.O.O. Let's give you a specific use case scenario for this. Let's just say you're building a Goodyear welted shoe, and you start off by sourcing the raw hides and leather from the UK. You take this leather and import it to China, where you take the leather and you make the upper of the shoe and you make the soles of the shoe. However, you don't finish up the construction of the shoe in China. You export those separately into Italy, where you take the soles and the uppers and you put them together, thereby creating the finished product. In this case, which one do you think is the country of origin? Is it the UK, or is it Italy, or is it even China? Well, this under number 2, we have to consider the country in which the major HS tariff classification is taking place. You're shipping the goods or the raw materials out of the UK, but you're not constructing the final finished shoe in China. You're doing that in Italy. Therefore, the HS codes are changing consistently between country to country. The final HS code change happens when you take the soles and the uppers of the shoe and you put them together into the finished goods, and this happens in Italy. Therefore, under number 2, we can consider Italy as the country of origin. Number 3, we have the additional value case scenario. If the value percentage of domestic material or the cost of creating these goods has reached a minimum threshold, or if the value of the imported goods from a specific country is within a maximum range, then the country of origin doesn't need to change. And these specific numbers regarding the percentage differ from country to country, so this is something to watch out for. But let's just give you a specific example. Let's just say we're creating a blazer, and this blazer is constructed in the UK. However, over 70% of the costs are burdened in Italy, from the fabric cost to the lining cost to all the other embellishments. Then the country of origin in this case would not need to change from Italy to the UK, even though the final construction happens in the UK. In this case, we can still consider Italy as the C.O.O. Why should you pay close attention to the country of origin of your goods? Well, this can actually have a severe impact on both your business and your bottom line. Let's take one of the 2 examples. First is the trading policy under which your goods are considered. What does this mean? Well, when your goods are imported from one country into another, they are classified under the harmonized system, or the HS tariff codes. Different countries have different codes and different tariffs for different other countries. And depending on the country of origin that's specified for your goods, your duties may be higher or lower, and there may be even special duties applied depending on the country of origin. Just think about the US-China trade war, where both countries have imposed tariffs on each other in an attempt to pressure one another. At the end of the day, the end consumer is the one that ends up bearing the brunt of this cost. So this is something you want to be especially mindful of, as this can end up severely eating to your bottom line, especially if you don't have a good grasp on what specific tariffs are imposed on your goods for their country of origin. And number 2 is a little bit more subjective, and this has to do with consumers' attitudes and spending habits towards specific countries. For example, your customers can form an opinion about your product without even having to touch it or feel it, depending on where that product is from. And customers are going to formulate an opinion regardless of the end result. Just think of goods that are made in China. Even though China has come a long way and is actually leading in a lot of scenarios, these goods are still considered as inferior to their European counterparts, regardless of the actual absolute value of these goods. So this is definitely something that you'll want to pay close attention to, as this is going to have an impact on your goods in ways that you can't necessarily control. So make sure that you do your research and maybe try to align your goods according with your brand values. If you are a luxury retailer where your goal is to create luxury shoes, then potentially competing with other brands that have made in France or made in Spain or even made in Portugal products, and you're trying to compete at that price point with a made in China product, regardless of the absolute value of those goods, this is going to severely impact the ways in which your customers are treating and perceiving your goods. Well, that's it guys, that's a wrap. By the end of this video, you should have a clear grasp on how different scenarios identify the country of origin, and hopefully now when you look at your specific use case scenario, you can be able to unpack and identify where your goods are made so that you can set yourself up the right way, that you're not caught flat-footed in a scenario where you're paying excess duties or you're diminishing the value of your goods because of an unknown scenario in which your goods had to pass through a specific case that changes their country of origin. I know this video was a little dense, but this is a topic that I personally wondered about many times, and it's cool to know that there are answers out there. Hopefully you guys benefited from that as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider smashing a thumbs up to help others see this and to help more people learn and come to this channel. If you guys want to work with us, this is a question we get a lot. Please send us a short brief in terms of what you're looking for to studio@fittdesign.com, and someone from our team will get back to you. We'd love to hear all about your projects and see where we can help you. Guys, thank you so much again for tuning into Fittdesign TV. Until next time, stay awesome.